have grandma's cookies over the weekend? Your nephew's birthday cake? So this video is about if you've had a cheat meal, if you've fallen off the wagon, if you've made a mistake, had some carbohydrates, here's what to do. So first of all, don't panic. Happens to everybody, and don't beat yourself up. Also, if you happen to look at the scale and you've seen a big jump up, which can happen, that's just your glycogen stores being refilled and your insulin going up, which causes you to hold on to a lot of water weight. Don't freak out. There's no real way that you could gain any more than maybe half a pound of body fat at the most, not even, and that would be if you ate thousands and thousands of calories. Uh, so you're okay. Even if the scales went up, the thing with cheat meals is that you tend to want more and more and more carbohydrates. So what they say is that don't let a cheat meal become a cheat month. And I'm going to tell you right now how to do that. So, the day after like I said, you'll see that weight gain, but we're going to quickly get you back on track. What I've been recommending for the past few years, because it works really, really well, and I have not found anything that works better, is eating nothing but bacon for 2 or 3 days. You could also, there's a few other ways to do it, and I'm going to get into that. So if you ate 1.5 pounds of bacon every single day, if you're a woman, or 2 pounds of bacon if you're a man, or even if you need more than that, you could have more. So you could have a bigger portion. The most important thing is to get back into ketosis, which gets you back in control of your eating. So you want to do that as quickly as possible. Bacon takes your carbohydrates down to near zero. It gives you lots of salt and sodium, so you don't have to go through the keto flu again. Which also makes it a lot easier. We find that salt can actually help break that addiction cycle. We're craving something, we're wanting something, and a lot of times it's salt, but we'll end up having things that we shouldn't be having. And really, if we just had a little bit of salt, even a pinch of salt on your tongue can actually really help with hunger and cravings a lot. It actually works very, very often. But another way to do it is just having bacon. So with the bacon, you are fulfilling your nutritional needs. So you're not getting any carbohydrates. You are getting protein, you are getting fat, you are getting sodium. And there's a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of B vitamins to help your energy. So the fat in bacon is actually oleic acid, olive oil, the same stuff as olive oil. It's a really healthy fat. The proteins that are in bacon are the amino acids. The highest amino acids are leucine and isoleucine, and both of those amino acids can only be converted into ketones. So bacon is a really, really powerful tool to get you back on track, get you back into ketosis, and really you just need to, you could almost have as much bacon as you want for a couple days just to get back into ketosis, and then you'll find it easier because your appetite, your hunger comes down, and you go back to the regular menu. But another thing is that when you cut carbohydrates out, you really do need to replace it with something, because carbohydrates are bringing you a little bit of pleasure. They're giving you that dopamine hit, that feel good. They tend to relax us, right? If you're someone that's anxious, or you have a little bit of anxiety, I know I do, and a lot of people do, or you stress eat, or you're an emotional eater, you kind of, and if carbohydrates was what you're like almost acting like a drug, where you're treating yourself by going to carbohydrates all the time, then you really do need to find something else. So you need to find replacement. So that's the other part of this. So, the food part is just going to all bacon for a few days, or you could just do carnivore. So you could have meat for a couple days and make sure you get lots of salt in. So that's the food part of it. The other part is the mind. So we tend to beat ourselves up. We tend to see that jump on the scale that's water weight again. And then we think, well, it didn't work. It took me a bunch of time to lose 5 or 10 pounds and ever gain that 5 or 10 pounds back in one day. But it isn't true. You've only gained back water weight. So, number one, don't beat yourself up, but you need to look at it and analyze it. So it's very important to, take ownership of what happened, of that mistake. And you also need to, think about why that happened. Was it stress? Was it the situation you're in? Was it your environment where you just, were there carbs in your face? Did grandma offer you the cookies and you didn't want to insult her? And then next thing you know, you're having a lot of them, because that could happen. So think of, what happened and how you can change it for the next time. So learn from your mistake, I guess, is what I'm saying in a nutshell. Uh, if you learn from it and then you try to make adjustments to prevent it from happening again, that's all you can really do, you know. But you do need to kind of have a look at it. Was it something stressful? Was it, so to give you an example, I had one private client and she ran a daycare, and she found that every time she brought out snacks, she would have something too, because it was a trigger for her. And she's giving the kids the same snacks that she would like to have. Um, and so a lot of times, let's say goldfish crackers, or something like some chips or some sort of fruit or something like that. I mean, not terrible snacks for the kids or anything, but things that were trigger foods for her. And once you have a little bit of it, you tend to go all in. So that's what was happening. So my suggestion to her was, after looking at it, analyzing it, is to eat yourself before snack time. And then you're full, you're feeling full, and then those things aren't going to tempt you. So when you think of all these different situations that can arise where things that can throw you off, like a birthday party, it really comes down a lot of times to planning ahead of time, and eating before you go, and eating ahead of time, like a big keto meal that satisfies you and you're full. You're going there not hungry, you have a lot better chance at not having those cookies or not having the cake, or even thinking of a replacement ahead of time for some of those things. But like I said, the most important thing is not to beat yourself up. It is still going to happen. It's going to happen from time to time. And as long as you know how to get back on track, and I really don't think that fasting, in my opinion, some people, their go-to is to try to do a 24-hour or a 48-hour fast to not eat anything for a couple days. Big mistake, in my opinion, because you're kicked out of ketosis, so you're already hungry, you already have the cravings. It's going to take a lot of willpower, and there's a pretty high chance that you're going to fail because you're not in ketosis. So you don't have that powerful appetite suppressant effect that ketosis gives you. So then trying to eat nothing and do a fast is going to be very difficult. So, in my opinion, going to zero carb, carnivore, bacon, or even bacon and eggs, keeping it very, very simple for a couple days, that's your quickest, most effective way back into ketosis and getting back on track. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. And a few other little things. So I'm trying to think of a name for this. So when you have a craving or want something, like I said, you need to replace that craving of the carbs. You need to have something that makes you happy, that lights you up, that gives you a dopamine or serotonin hit, because we're looking for that relaxation or that feel-good energy that we get from it. And this could be a lot of different things. So you want to make it something that, I'm going to make a whole video about this, but it's important as well when you're getting off the carbohydrates. So some of the little things, I'm going to give you guys a brief preview of that video, which is going to be the next video. You could go for a walk would be something, getting in the tub and having a bath, or doing something you enjoy. So listening to music, sipping on some coffee. You need these little crutches to kind of get you back on track. They'll help keep you busy. So drinking water, drinking the Keto Rescue Aid would be another one. Even having some sugar-free gum, I'm not against that, because it's kind of the lesser of two evils in a lot of cases. So if you're having things that are 0 calorie, very low calorie, very low carb, and it's preventing you from having something that you shouldn't be, it has to be a good thing. So we'll talk more about that in the next video, and we will talk again soon.